Chibson. You know, I'm usually against counterfeit guitars, like, you know, counterfeit Fender, or Charles Reed Smith, or something like that. But, you know, Gibson's kind of a bully, so this is just desserts. And this one I had the opportunity to go through, and I took it because I've never seen one of these in person. And yeah, so I really wanted to get my hands on it and see what they're all about. I see them in the YouTube videos all the time, and you know, this guitar is based on a Les Paul Jr. double cutaway in the TV yellow with the two P90 hiccups. And yeah, I mean, this is just a beautiful build. From Gibson, this would probably be $4,000, you know, but here you got it for pennies, nearly. That's a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah, so give you a little tour here. And there's one flaw on it, and just one thing I just don't like about it, but I'll get to that in a second. So, you know, you got your four knobs, volume and tone, your three-way switch, two pickups, standard Les Paul bridge there. It's a neck through. We get up here to the headstock, and here's the flaw. So that Les Paul should be a little more there, so the Les Paul is centered between these strings, and Junior's kind of a little closer up here, and the Gibson is kind of trailing off the top right there. But so that's the flaw. The one thing I just don't like about it is you know, they put the Made in the USA and a serial number on there, and man, you know, the headstock is a little just desserts for Gibson, but this is a kick in the nuts to Gibson right here, and a kick in the nuts to all of us, really, to put that on there. Serial number I would be okay with, but the Made in the USA, that's just, and it's not even like centered or anything, but I think that's what bothers me the most, is that Made in the USA. If they put replica below it, that would, you know, sit so much better with me, but that hurts. But what are you gonna do? It's here, it's yellow, and it's in need of a little tune-up. I don't know how much they do on tuning up through the factory, but yeah, so we'll get into it. We'll set you up, and we'll have a look-see. Trying to get in the habit of changing out my mats. The cork one I had down was my newest one, so I want to keep that clean. So I put down my oldest one, which is still in good shape, but you know, a little dirty. But let's plug it in, see how it sounds. Everybody's all about these P90s, right? Put on a nice clean channel here. That's the center. Bridge. Neck. Neck's really warm. I like that. Yeah, not exactly what you would get out of a humbucker, but overall, very nice. Yeah, so let's get into it. Let's start by taking the strings off, I guess. Alright, first things first, the owner had mentioned when he first got it, he did a truss rod adjustment, but he had trouble with the screws. They were stripping out on him. One of them might not have been catching. Got a variety of screwdrivers here to try to take that off. Yeah, that one, the bottom one isn't into anything, so. When the second one is in, it's in all the way down, right in front of the truss rod. So, yeah, maybe just I'll replace the hardware on that with a long, wider screw in the back and one that's less stripped in the front. Well, we got that off. Let's. I'm going to sight down the neck and just see how straight it is. And it's like an arrow. Beautiful. I think that's a perfect place to start once we get the tension of the strings on it. We're going to be doing 9s. So that'll give it a little less tension on the neck, I think. And we'll see where it is. We may have to do an adjustment there. So we'll leave the cover off. We'll put that on last. Yeah, so let's have a look here at the frets and see how level they are. It's been getting some good playing. I can see that already. Got broken in. So I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets. This one's like the Winky Wonky Donkey over here. So the neck's been gone through. That was an elapsed time of about 20 minutes. And this will probably never have to be done again for another 10 or 20 years. A lot of fudge on here though. I'm going to clean that off with some wood cleaner. When you start looking a little closer into this thing, you start seeing some of the flaws. For instance, there's this on the first fret. It's really rough, like it wasn't sanded down. Even the entire fretboard isn't rough, but you can see the sand marks, especially up here, like it was just power sanded off and left at that. And then there's all the markings, which I don't think it's been around too long, so I'm wondering if that's all like it's ghosted in there by the factory that makes it. But anyway, that's the first kind of thing I saw there. Let's oil it up. I mentioned I was using different things on fretboards. I found this feed and wax. It's orange oil and beeswax and a couple other mineral oils. And I've been putting this on like my own guitars for a little bit, just experimenting with it, and I haven't had any problems. But I don't like to do that on guitar that doesn't belong to me, so I'm going to go with the standard Dunlop orange oil, lemon oil, sorry, and I'll keep you updated on how this stuff's working out. I'm going to let that soak in and take a break. It's Super Bowl night, so yeah, I got stuff to do. Wife's cooking, all that good stuff. So, we back. Fretboard's crazy. It's just, if you look really close, you can see the sanding marks from where the orbital sander hit it or something. Just little chunky little pieces. This spot up here is just bad. It's a little more hidden. I did end up going with some wax on it. It just kept absorbing the orange polish, the orange oil. So I think I'm going to clean it up now. Again, use some nice foamy glass cleaner. It's ammonia free. Perfect on these types of finishes. Get rid of any gunk that's built up, my tape residue up in here. Absolutely beautiful finish on this. It's like really, really, really nice. Solid, even. Pretty confident we're not going to have to take off the truss rod cover again. I'm going to replace the hardware with something just a little wider that'll fit in there a little tighter and be able to still screw out for you, you know. The front one I'm going to leave the original in, I think. That one's going in pretty good. This is the one that needs a little help to come out a little easier. There. It's a lot tighter. I was asked to put 9s on this, so that's what I'm going to do. It's got infinite sustain, even without an E-bow. Yeah, this is really cool. It's got a great balance to it. It feels just like right here. I think the itself, because it's a brand new instrument, I think it needs to learn how to be a guitar. These pickups, I don't know. I was doubting them, and I'm really liking them. I'm getting used to them. They're different than humbuckers, but yeah, they have a lot of sustain. I would definitely say the bridge is a little bit floating. The saddles want to float on you and stuff, so it might have to be something you're constantly using your pick to put it back into the right spot. That saddle, I would definitely recommend a more fine-tuned saddle, something a little more better milled than this. And of course, tuners would be great too, but the weight of it and just the balance of it is really cool. I can rip on this. I was ripping on it for about 30 minutes before, and that was a lot of fun. So, yeah, Gibson. So there you are. That's a Chibson Les Paul Jr. in TV yellow, double cutaway with the two P90 pickups. My final thoughts on this are, it's an Epiphone quality build with Gibson badging on it. Plays really nice, actually. You get close, you see all the little flaws, but a real Gibson of this age, if it was actually from the 60s, would probably have those flaws too. Those back then, I mean, they were the nicest guitars of the time, but they had their flaws too. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. Upgrades I might do on this, because it is a nice player. I might think about, very first, is getting rid of this bridge. This bridge is bad. Very loose on the saddles. I think after every couple tunings, you might have to make sure the saddles are in the right spot, because they float a lot. There's some floating on a real Les Paul bridge, but not as much as floating as that. So, yeah, new bridge, maybe some new real P90 pickups, whatever these are. These seem kind of cheap, but it plays good. So, at any rate, I want to thank you for joining me. Thumbs up so I know you like my content, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.